shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?
Speak Rock, that's the team that I'm with. Speak Rock, don't it make a lot of sense? Speak Rock, yeah, we speak to each other. Hey, young man, be a brother to another, Put the other things aside, throw away the fakeness. All my brothers got the key to achieve greatness. Let nobody bring you down when you tryna reach the top. Let them know what you represent, tell them speak rock. Let's make a change for the best. Let your voice be heard, let your words be expressed. Brothers and sisters, set a goal to the top. If anybody got your back, let them know it's speak rock.
Hey, yo, Guap, that was dope. Hey, just gotta keep telling them what it is out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you already know, man.
Hey, we doing this one for the D. What up, though?
What up, though?
Yo, what up, though? What up, though? What up, though? It's your brother, Speak Rock. Hey, I missed y'all, man. Hey, I am back, and I'm back at it. And not only am I back at it just with me, I'm back at it with my brother, E.T., the extraordinary teacher. And y'all know who he is. That brother, Eric Thompson. What's going on, E?
Man, what's up, sir? Man, I've been missing this, man. Everything been flowing. God is so wonderful. He's been doing some amazing things, and that's the reason why we hadn't been connecting, because God is doing some moving and shaking things, and shaking up the foundations of some communities and some people and religion. And sometimes we got to come against religion, and God will be showing Himself faithful in that. But yes, sir, man, we are back at it. We trusting God gonna do some mighty and amazing things on this broadcast today.
Of course, man. I see you ain't skipped the beat, man. You already about to chase off. You chased off about 10% of the listening audience. Them cats like, he talk about my religion. You done came out the gate.
You come against my tradition.
That's it. You come against tradition and religion.
I can't wear my white gloves on first Sunday again.
Come on, man. You know, somebody was.
Whatever keep you saved. That's all I say. Whatever keep you saved.
Look here, bruh. Somebody was getting ready to lay out that hat that they gotta wear that can't nobody see when they behind them. Somebody was getting ready to lay that out. But you start talking. No, man. But look, bruh. Look, you're absolutely right, bruh. I've been involved in some other things that, that require my attention, but I haven't skipped any beats though, cause just in case nobody knows, I'm always active in the movement, and that movement is be a brother, speak to another. And, it's a beautiful thing. And I know you can relate, especially being an evangelist. When you hitting the street and you talking to people and you spreading the gospel and you telling people about Jesus Christ, I liken be a brother, the movement, be a brother, speak to another, to that. Not exactly. So don't get all mad at me, listening audience. Like, he talk about his movement is like spreading the gospel. No, stop it. What I'm saying is there are similarities, and, I'm always stepping to brothers, black men, and I'm speaking to them out of the blue. They don't know me. I don't know them, but I want to let them know that, hey, guess what? You're important. I feel that you're important, and I feel that's important that we speak to one another versus just passing by one another. And Eric, I tell you, man, the look that I get when I just share that simple message with them, people look at me like, bruh, you 100% correct, because I wasn't going to say a doggone thing to you. I was about to pick up these carton of eggs.
I was going to let you walk right past me.
I was going to let you walk right past me. But you know what? Yeah, and I understand it, but that's why I do what I do, because it's needed. You know what I mean? So, look, man, with that being said, bro, I miss this. I miss having this dialogue with you, sharing with you, us having conversation, us being able to bring a certain perspective and a viewpoint to the masses. And it's God ordained, and I just been chopping at the bit, ready to get back with you, man, and chop it up. So, hey, look, I'm ready when you ready.
Hey, man, I'm like Lance Stevens. I'm born ready.
Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, look, real talk. This is something that I feel that's near and dear to your heart. Something I know that you can jump all over. And keep in mind, listening audience, here at SpeakRoc, the way me and my brother ET got it set up is, this is impromptu. This is, Eric knows nothing about what I'm gonna ask him or what we're even gonna talk about. This brother comes from the heart and it's authentic. I don't even know a lot of times what I'm gonna say. It's not scripted. I give the subject some consideration, and some prayer, but I don't sit out and script what it is that we're going to talk about, because number one, I want to let God have his way. Number two, I just want to give you the essence of who we are. And with that being said, Eric, today, and this is something that came up in my spirit yesterday, man, talking about, I'm just going to say it, consistency. And what I was thinking to myself is that I respect anyone who's consistent. Well, let me say it like this. I respect anyone who's consistent, but it's not so much that I respect the person, but I also respect the act of consistency. And what I mean by that is, a person probably could do something that's not on, a positive level. But if they're consistent in what they're doing, I can look at the act and say, man, at least that person's consistent. And even in that consistency, it makes me, it puts me in a certain space where now I got to know how to deal with that person. Because if someone's doing something that's not positive on a consistent level, you just don't come to that person if you desire to correct them, or if you're led to correct them in a type of way. You can't come at them at a way from a person who's inconsistent. And on the flip side of that, a person who is consistent and who is doing positive things, I believe that you got to look at that person. That person has something on their life that they're doing something big, and you have to understand who they are, where their mindset is as it pertains to being consistent. And the reason I'm excited today to have this conversation with you, Eric, and I believe it's going to benefit our listening audience, is that you are the type of person, from my vantage point, that I've been blessed to look at your consistency. And not to throw a lot of your business out there, but you are an individual who has been in the workplace with the type of employment that you have. Man, you've been consistent so much to the point to where, the fruit of your labor is talking about, you're looking at retirement. That is remarkable to me. And that's just one area in which you're consistent. You're consistent as it pertains to your faith, your belief in God. The fruit in and of itself is showing on all levels. I appreciate that in you. The consistency that you have as being a husband and a father. This is huge, especially in my opinion, when it comes to the African American male. Because a lot of times, when we try to find examples in life, and when I say we, I'm talking about, African American society, some of the quick things we can point out, we can talk about the incarceration population of the African American male, or we can talk about the homosexuality population of the African American male. We can talk about the downtrodden and the unfortunate population of the African American male. But a lot of times we speak on those things and we gloss over people that are right in front of us that are doing remarkable things. And brother, from me to you, and I'm letting the listening audience know, from my eyes, from my vantage point, from my perspective, you are one of those guys. You're right there in everybody's face, consistent, diligent, hardworking, the example that I would think young people to elders alike can look at and say, this is it right here. And I can look at his life and the fruit of it and see how being consistent is a benefit. So with all that being said, man, I want you to chime in and say, and give us some nuggets, if you will. Give us some pointers and just talk to us the importance and how important it is to you about being consistent. Go ahead, bro.
Wow, man. I'm floored. I'm honored to hear you speak from your heart about my walk, and that's what I want to be. That's what I'm striving to be. I'm trying to be an example to not only to my family, to my extended family. I believe the body of Christ is my extended family. I believe people who are not believers now are still my extended family. I think I owe them. I think I'm responsible to a certain degree to act a certain way and be a certain way, so they can see somebody that the Lord has blessed, and someone who's following the precepts and the ordinances of God. I just want to be modeled that characteristic of whom Jesus came and died for. I'm far from perfect. I don't have it all together. I just try to follow the blueprint that's in heaven that God has ordained before the foundations of the world were created. And the consistency that I do possess, and like I said, I'm far from error free. I'm far from being all that God has me to be. But that consistency comes from Him. I've tracked Him. I've tracked his history. I've tracked his record. I've tracked his discipline. I've tracked his instruction. I've tracked his ordinance. I've tracked his word. And because I've done that, I believe it can transfer in my life. And what I try to do is be a contagious Christian. I try to be that brother who speaks to another like your platform is. I don't want to be one of those high-minded. I don't want to be one that look like I can't be approached. I don't want to be one of those people that look like I can't be talked to. I don't want to be like one of those people that I don't laugh. I'm so serious I don't laugh, or I don't have fun. And it's funny because I just left the presence of God, right? Just left the presence of God. And I believe God had given me a nugget for Facebook, right? I believe God had given me a nugget for Facebook. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, you see all sides of them. You see the good, bad, you see the genuine. You see love. You see some hurt. You see pain. So anyway, I was in the presence of God. God dropped a nugget in my spirit about we think it's, I'm gonna paraphrase because I can remember, but it said something like we think so high-minded of ourselves or something like that, and I said that God is so funny because He said, and we're not even close to where we should be. He said we're thinking so high-minded of ourselves, but we're not even close to where we should be. And so after I posted that, I immediately get a response from what I believe is a believer, and she writes on there, God is not funny. He is God. And I'm thinking to myself, see that right there? I was like, see that right there? Now, I'm talking about my relationship.
Wow.
And what He just dropped in my spirit and you come with a religious answer to say he not funny, he is God. I open up what he was God, and I open up, and I say all of this to say, because those certain kind of religious and tradition, and we kind of talked about that, those religious and tradition responses can turn people away, can turn people from the gospel, can turn people from our love walk. And we can be consistent in doing those things and not bearing fruit. So what I would say, brother, is I'm just someone who decided I'm not going to be like the media portrays African American males. I'm not going to be like the status quo. I'm gonna love my wife. I'm gonna love my country. I'm gonna pray for my leaders, as scriptures say, and I'm gonna be consistent in that.
Dude, I mean, I guess no one can really. I understand what you're saying firsthand. I get it, and this story is just on me. I don't know what perfect time that I'm waiting. I've been thinking about this story between you and I. I've been thinking about a segment in which I can utilize this story, but I'm just going to utilize it today. And I'm going to tie this in with consistency and what you just said as far as you being the person that you are. Look, I mean, and I don't want to just say this in a cliche kind of manner, like when you say it, look, I'm not perfect, look, and we get that, but we say that in the most humble manner and not in a cliche manner. And what I mean by that is, a person such as me, I can appreciate the whole body of who you are. Okay. Granted, if you're not perfect, the things that you are perfect in, your ability to work on yourself, your ability to be honest with yourself, I can appreciate that whole thing, because truth of the matter is we all that. If we stop lying to ourselves, all of us are that. I don't care who you are on this planet. As much as people may look at you and be that may admire you and look up to you and hold you in high regard. I don't care who it is. Every person knows that they got shortcomings, that they things that they do well, things that there's areas in which they have extended grace on their life, whatever the case may be. But let me get to the point of the story. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even have all the details to the story. And I'm going to say this. Here's what's beautiful about this. I might not have all the details to the story. It was funny. It's happened to me. But I know who does have all the details to the story. And that's God Almighty himself. Here's the deal. And you help me out what you remember. I remember I went on my first missions trip with the church, and I came back from my first mission. I came back from my first missions trip. Went to Africa, and I come back and I talked to my wife. That's what I want to believe. She said something to me. She could have said something over the phone, but I doubt it. But I believe she said something when I came back. She said when she came back, because at that time, when I went on my first missions trip, we had 3 children. We had a young son and two twin girls, babies, still in a stroller, pushing babies. So here I am off of a missions trip somewhere, and my wife is getting back and forth to church with 3 kids by herself. So my wife tells me, she was like, yeah, somebody helped me out, and da-da-da-da-da, and, and I'm like, she was like, yeah, it was this brother. He was like, he's the greeter at the door or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, yeah, he's always there. I was like, okay. Yeah, but we'll see. I was like, I don't know who he is. I said, maybe, I'm sure I've seen him, but I don't know. So she tells me about this person that helped her out. that helped her, be it the car seats, be it you know how the car seats are. You take them right out the car seat, now they're a carrier or whatever it is. Or if it was the double stroller that we was pushing, whatever it was, she tells me about this guy that helped her out, got her in the church, got her situated, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, okay, that's what's up. I can respect that. I like that. So with that being said, here's where I kind of draw blank, to be honest with you. I'm just like, all right, I don't remember nothing after that. I don't remember like how, and the person that I'm talking about is you. She tells me that it was you. And I'm like, from there, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how we connected after that. I got some ideas. I know we was on the street evangelism team together, and I know we connected through that, but I don't know if we built a relationship or start communicating with each other before I got on the evangelism team or not. I'm not sure. But the point that I'm getting at is the same guy that I met, you, how you are, and you said it all. You want to be a person that's approachable. You want to be a person that wants to show love to everybody. That person is the same person that I know today. You not are you talking it, but you walk it and you affect lives. And I got to let everybody know my life has been affected from day one of meeting you. And to me, that in and of itself is the power of a person who is honest, true, authentic, and consistent in that person. Because the truth of the matter is, for the longest we've known each other, and what are we talking about, Eric? 17, 16 years? Something like that?
Yeah, man, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you wasn't that person, I would have been found out and it'd have been faded. So what I'm saying to you is who you are and how you are has made an impact. Now let's put this in perspective. I'm not, and even at that time, I was a grown adult. I was an adult man. You know, I wasn't just a young kid, a young teenager, a young adolescent who was just very impressionable. I was an adult man, and I'm still an adult man who is impacted by another man. To me, that's powerful, man. That is powerful. So, Eric, if you could just please tell me why you feel it's so important for you to maintain your consistency, bro.
Man, that's interesting, and it's hard for me to fill in those blanks too. But the blessing of it is I remember that. I remember the time when Sister Nita was in the parking lot, and we was fellowshipping in the school.
Yep.
At that particular time, and I remember that, and it's just like you said. But from that point, I don't know how the relationship between you and I developed, but I do know it's a divine connection. And that's what I do know. God will work out details. I just know it's a divine connection. Now, the consistency part. I want my life to speak for me. I don't want when someone, when God transitioned me to be with Him and be in the face of Him. I don't want somebody to have to make up something. I don't want somebody to have to say, well, Peter got out of the boat. It had nothing to do with me. Right. I want to be, I just want to be an example for people to be followers of Him. Because I recognize that, it's when the rubber meets the road, it's all about Him. It's all about, I want people to see me and see Him. I want people to see my good works and glorify Him and not me. I want to leave lifetime impressions on people, so they can say, well, that dude won't all that. but it was something genuine in him that make me remember what he was trying to say. Because we did a lot, and you talked about, we did a lot of stuff on the street that I believe allow our relationship to get to the point where it is now, that I could trust you. I could trust your heart. I knew you had a pure heart. You had a passion for people. You had passion for brothers back then. And the call comes without repentance. So how they gonna put it in you back then, and you can't and not have it right now? And so whatever God decided to place in me, place in my heart, and especially for evangelism, especially for people, because God shared with me one time that evangelism don't have a face, evangelism don't have a color, evangelism don't have a demographic per se. The evangelism is about the heart of the people, and because God is so consistent with me, even in my flaws. I just don't want to be consistent in my error. I want to be one that who mess up and be quick to ask for forgiveness. But even in my asking for forgiveness, I want to be that brother who's quick to forgive others.
Eric, don't start nothing. Please do not. Don't be hitting no stuff like that.
That's who I want. That's who I want to be. That's what I want to be. I want to be quick to forgive others. I don't want to hold grudges. I don't want to have people hold me in bondage. I recognize if I can't forgive, God says He can't forgive me. So if I don't just do it so God can forgive me, I want to be in the right relationship with that brother or that sister. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Let me step in real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go. I just want to be in the right standard with that brother or that sister, especially if I offended him in any kind of way or offended her in any kind of way. I could have been right in my offense, but God said, "Woe to the one that the offense come through." Not just the one who's offended. So, but yeah, that's who it is. That's what it's about. That's just my life. Once again, I just want the listener to always know that I ain't perfect, man. I'm in process. I failed. I probably failed yesterday. May have failed the day before that too. But I don't want my failure to identify who I am. I remember you said a couple of shows ago, a couple of weeks ago, whenever we communicated, you said you're not too busy or too impressed or too, and I'm paraphrasing, too motivated by proving your doubters wrong.
Right.
You said you just want to be whom those who believe in you are.
That's right.
See, that's what I love about you. That's what I love about this. I want to be who people think I am, man. That's all. I want to be those who trust me, those who believe in me, such as yourself. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be a facade. I don't want to be double-minded. I don't want to be one way, while I'm in the church house and,
Hey, because being double-minded isn't consistent. Being double-minded isn't consistent.
Wow.
There's no consistency in that.
You're absolutely right. There's no consistency in that. Unless you do it all the time. Unless you do it every day.
But here go the thing, though.
You know what God says about that, though. So
come on, man.
Out of your mouth. He wants you to be either hot or cold.
Come on, or I'll spew you.
Right. So that's who I am. That's who I am. That's who I want. Put it this way. That's who I'm working to be.
Right.
I'm not there yet. Until I get my glorified body in Christ, because no good thing dwells in the flesh, because I fail in the flesh often. But I just love that God sees me through the eyes and the blood of Jesus, and not through the eyes and the blood of me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And please, I want people to understand that I'm just not fluffing my brother. I'm not doing that. I was there. You know what I'm saying? We've had a friendship for a long time. I see the fruits of what this brother go through. And I'm just using him as an example to make a point. Cause I was there when during the beginning stage of him being on the evangelism team. And I know for those who may listen, look, I welcome everybody. You may not agree with our stance as it pertains to our spiritual life, living and serving, Jesus Christ or what have you. Hey, look, I understand. I get it. But here's the deal. It takes a certain amount of, faithfulness and consistency to be able to continue to serve God, to reach people. Evangelism isn't for the faint of heart. It just isn't. Talking to people that you don't know, speaking to people who can care less about what's getting ready to come out of your mouth. Look here, week in and week out, day in and day. This is not for the faint of heart. So I can understand a lot of times if I'm at churches and I see that they may not have an evangelism program, I already know why. And I've always felt like, well, y'all just haven't got that person yet who's consistent. Because if you get that one person who's consistent, guarantee you, I promise you that your evangelism program will grow. That evangelism ministry will grow. And when God has blessed you with the grace and the understanding and the mercy to be able to reach his people, that is something special. And, through whatever may come from the other side when you're speaking to people, that to me, I just see that level of consistency transcends into all other things. Be it if you're a husband, be it if you're a father, be it if you're a business owner, be it if you're an employee at someone's job, whatever it may be, if you're a student, consistency will pay off. And like Eric said, you can't be double-minded. Look, trying to manipulate systems and changing up your scheme and always being, some would call it being flexible or playing the game. I'm here to tell you, you heard it here from SpeakRoc, it's not going to last. It is not going to, you may win one victory. You may, it may seem or appear that you've gotten, some type of value out of always switching it up when it comes to people. You always in a hustle mode. It will not last. It just won't last. What will last, and I started off by saying this, time and history is on my side, that even those who have engaged in any type of negative behavior or negative action, it's amazing what they've accomplished. I'm not celebrating the negative thing that they're done, but I'm speaking on the level of consistency and how it worked for them. Just look in a history book and look at any world leader that's been consistent in doing something crazy, and you look at what they've accomplished. We can't ignore facts. So what I'm saying is, the consistency brought them to a high level of doing something crazy. Now look at those who did something positive and for the greater good, it lasted. But somebody who took shortcuts and always looked to just find a way to manipulate and just come up with some kind of scheme to achieve something great, typically it does not last. And not only that, truth of the matter is, the people who operate in that space, truth be told, they're not even happy with themselves. that inconsistency doesn't even if you just read your history book, you will look at people who've had so much trouble with themselves, be it if they were suicidal, be it if they were just in some deranged space. You will see how that level of inconsistency did not do them well. So Eric, I just want you to help us close this out, man. Once again, I love the person who you are and what you do. I mean, like I said, man, you got 3 sons. You've been married for it seems like a good while now. It's over 20 years, right? Is it 20 years?
Yes, actually, will be 23 this year. 23
this year. Man, salute to that. I think that, being a husband, being a father, once again, in your workspace, being faithful and loyal to that, that speaks volumes, man. And even in your spiritual life. And I try to tell people, some people think like, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, granted, yes, you're supposed to be, the best person that you can be, but let's just be honest. In all things that we go through in this life, that doesn't mean, just because you're supposed to do it, doesn't mean that it's been easy the whole way. And by you having some endurance, some resolve, having resilience, it speaks volume to you as a man. And I just want to let my listening audience know, if you know somebody who is not an entertainer or an athlete, or that's a clergy member or a politician or whatever the case may be, if you know a brother that's not none of those things, but he's everything that I just named, the qualities such as my brother E, y'all need to take notice, probably sit down, get around that person, get in their space and see what makes them click and see why that consistency is so special. Go ahead, E. Take us out, brother.
Man, that's awesome. What I've done, somebody's taking notes or listening in and trying to figure out how to be consistent. What I did is I fell in love with God. I fell in love with Jesus. I believe the scripture. I believe he created this day, and I don't know anybody who has that level of power on earth that could do that. So, but I do need to make one correction in case my wife is listening in. Actually, I did the math, and it's really 22 years, not 23 years. So I'm gonna make that correction. But I actually on my job will be, because I know you mentioned that before, will be 30 years this year.
Wow.
So, 30 years this year. And it's funny because I was walking into the office one day and I was like, man, I've been walking up here for 30 years. I don't know. I mean, very few people that I know that's in my circle of influence or whatever who had a job that they've been on more than 6 years.
Hey, let me add to one of the things you were saying. Hey, look, when you in love, the way you and your wife in love, time flies. So
yeah, time flies, right?
Time flies. And not only that, brother, not only did you just didn't have a job, bro. That's a career. I just wanted to make that quick distinction, man. That's beyond a job. That's a career. That's commitment, bro. Salute to you, man.
Praise God. So, and that's what it is. Like I said before, and I don't want to repeat myself, but what it is somebody taking notes on that. That's where I am. That's where I am with my, because if I tried the other side. Let's get real.
Okay.
I tried the other side where I tried to do it without God, and if you know my story, one, I tried suicide. If you know my story, I've taken my car upside down and I gave up, and God said it's not. And I said, God, I guess it's over. And God said to me, it ain't over till I say it's over. So I've tried the other side. So I know what you've either gone through, been through, or going to go through in this walk. And I tell you, it's going to walk you in the wrong direction. It's going to walk you into the heartache, it's going to walk you into pain. And what we try to do with the Speak Rock platform is to show you there is a better way. You know, Scripture says there's a more excellent way, and that way is love. And when you love people, love returns to you. When you forgive people, forgiveness returns to you. When you do well for people, wellness returns to you. So we always want to talk about do unto others as you want to have them do unto you, and that doesn't necessarily mean on a religious kind of thing. You just want to treat people right. You just want to be consistent in loving people and not get so bent out of shape on what's going on in the world, but in a negative way. But see, I'm a proponent of, I want to hear good news all day. I want to have a more positive effect on communities, more so than okay, this is Church Hill, so it's got to go down. This is Church Hill, so they don't love God over there. It's Church Hill, so they got to be in poverty. They got to be poor. They got to be in crime. No, they don't. We just need to have more light in Church Hill. And I'm saying the light of the love of God is on the inside of us. And if we're consistent with that and having that light of love that's on the inside of us, when we see those brothers, we don't have to walk by them because we have the light of love on the inside of us. And at that particular time, when we're talking to them, and we're maybe not talking about spiritual things, we're just talking about why your pants down. We're not talking about spiritual things. Why don't you have a job? We're not maybe talking about spiritual things. Why don't you want to go to school? Why do you think you need to sell drugs? We're talking about those things. This was Speak Rock. We want to make you better from the inside out. And if we can be consistent, because consistency, this is good, because I think I just got this from the Holy Ghost. Consistency can be felt. Man, I probably could preach that.
Yeah.
I probably can. Consistency can be felt. Because when you seen it on the street, someone can tell if you're being consistent in what you're talking about.
Wow. If
you're being consistent from your heart, or is it coming from your head? Because, the truth of the matter is, how many people have you met? They hot and then they cold. Or they got this great idea, and then two weeks later they got, this is the best idea ever. I get they have their entrepreneurial spirit and they're consistent in that, but because of your inconsistency of your ideas gives me pause, and that's what happened when we try to minister to people when we're not consistent. Brother, I love you. I mean, I'm quite sure you know that I love your family. I love everything about what y'all doing and Speak Rock, and I've seen the growth in you. I've seen it. I mean, you communicated it with your listening audience that we've been around each other for 17 years, and this is the thing. People don't recognize. I'm not in Detroit.
No, you're
but
not.
You would think I wasn't in Carolina, but you would have thought I was.
That's
because
right.
That's that divine connection that God has hooked up, and what God puts together. Oh man, I feel like preaching. What God put together, not no man, no situation, no circumstances, no ism, no schism, no jealousy, none of that.
That's right.
Take us under. So, brother, I appreciate you. I thank you for your diligence in doing the things that God has placed on your heart to do, and I'm godly proud of it.
Oh, thank you, brother, man. Once again, I love you too, man. You know that. Hey, look, Speak Rock family. Look, we did what God will have us to do today. Just because we care about y'all. Hey, look, we appreciate you. Look to getting back with you next week. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed week. Y'all be great. Hit me up on my social media platforms, SPEAKROC. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, this is your brother, Speak Rock. I'm a brother from Detroit. What do I know? Hey, I love you. Peace, E.
Peace, sir.